In my Minecraft hardcore world, there is a civilization buried deep inside the jungle, with huge towering landscapes, custom houses, and a completely transformed jungle temple. Or at least there will be. I haven't built it yet. Right now, the area for our civilization looks like this, which I hate looking at. Yeah, I know it's just a regular... I know it's just a regular jungle, but it just doesn't look very good, does it? And well, naturally, the best way to start building a jungle is to get rid of the jungle. So all of these trees need to go. And with an actual area to now work in, I think the best place to start is definitely going to be some custom terrain. And I have a pretty extensive list. Let me just put down a couple of chests to help us visualize this a little bit better. This is just on the terrain alone. Anyway, let's just get started. The first block we're going to need is 25,000 stone. And I think the best way to do this is set ourselves up a haste 2 beacon. I'm going to mark out a bit of an area for us to work in. And then we're just going to start excavating this whole place down. I don't know if this is the easiest way to get stone, but it's definitely my favorite. This noise is just so you know? And while I'm already destroying the landscape around me, I might as well get some andesite while I'm here. I'm also going to make up a load of stone bricks and grab a bunch of cobblestone as well, because right afterwards we're going to come over to here and turn on our moss farm to get some moss blocks themselves, but also a bunch of mossy cobblestone. This farm is so slow though. So I just need to AFK here until it's all done. Psych, it's done. You didn't even see it coming. It was just boom, it's already done. I'm going to kickflip over here to our mesa biome, try and find a spot that I haven't already destroyed, and just start tearing all of this down. I can then fly over here to our cactus farm, where we have a bunch of cactus. Dude, I actually think I need to make this storage bigger. I did not think it was going to be this efficient. Can now start smelting up all of our cacti before crafting up a bunch of cyan terracotta. Next, I'm going to replace all of these sand blocks here with some grey concrete powder. And when I turn this bad boy on, just then going to dupe an infinite amount of concrete powder. Some of which I'm going to keep as regular concrete powder, but the rest of it is going over to our converter, and I'm going to turn all of this into regular concrete. And the last couple of blocks that we need is some mud, which we already have. For once, we already have a block. We don't need to go get it. And we just need to come over to here and grab up a load of this wheat from our massive wheat farm and turning it all into packed mud. And that should now, in theory, be all of the blocks that we're going to need for our custom terrain. Let's get to building. With our terrain, I went for very tall and spiky looking structures. The jungle could be a very dangerous place to be. So my thoughts are, the inhabitants mainly tried to set up their civilization high above the tree canopy to avoid the wildlife and whatever else is in the jungle. I've really been trying to work on my terrain skills recently. I guess you could say I've been terraining. Yeah? I started making up shadows with specific blocks and stuff. You'd swear I play this game for a living or something. This first mountain here was kind of more like a proof of concept to see if it works, and I think it turned out great. Hey, my name is Ludo. You may have heard of me from places like this video that you're watching, and I'm here to tell you about today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is an amazing in-depth vehicle combat game, which is free to play across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. You're able to take to the battlefields on land, ocean, or sky, with insane graphics and sound design, making you genuinely feel like you're right there in the fight. During your fight, you can use advanced military tech like guided missiles, drones, and an entire nuke. Damn, that's cool. You can customize your vehicles any way you like. Like, look at this one, it's blue. What? I get straight back into battle. Updates like the new 9th wave are packed full of content, like a brand new water rendering system making the water battles that much more realistic, and brand new fighter jets for you to pilot. Download War Thunder for free using the link in the description. All new players and those who haven't played War Thunder in half a year or more will receive some special bonuses: 100,000 silver lions, a special decorator, Eagle of Valor, and more. Also try War Thunder Mobile, an intense multiplayer action game with military vehicles, available for free on iOS and Android. So download and play War Thunder for free using the link in the description or pinned comment below. Thank you so much to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. And now I'm going to build another one of these over on this side, but much bigger. This is what's going to house our jungle temple transformation, so we need a bunch bunch of space. There's eventually going to be a town up on this side, and that's going to be looking over towards the jungle temple. It's going to be sick, trust me. And while I'm cooking up an absolute storm over on this mountain, if you guys are enjoying this video and want to see more stuff like this, then consider subscribing. It's free and it would really help me out. Anyway, enough yammering. And around an hour and a half later, we have this. That took a little bit longer than I thought it would, to be honest with you. I thought I'd do that in like less than an hour, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to move straight on to the next bit. I now want to start building up the terrain that's going to house the city itself. And to do my future self a favor for once, I'm going to leave myself plenty of space for all of the buildings to go in. So much so that I decided to build another mountain right beside it. That wasn't my original idea, but I want to make our city as impressive as possible. This is already looking incredible. So you see, I've used these like darker blocks as kind of like shadows, I guess. Now, I've never really done terrain before, so it's not the greatest. I also threw some of this terracotta and granite in to break the colors up a little bit, to give it more of a palette, if you will, a variable palette. See, I know what I'm talking about. Now, I saw other people do it, so I thought it looked kind of cool. But as nice as these rock structures look, they are just kind of rocks at the end of the day. So we need to put an entire city on these two and a jungle temple on this one. Seems pretty easy, right? You're wrong. You're very, very wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to come over to this massive hole that I've been digging out and grab up a load of this dirt, and I'm going to use that to mark out a general outline of our city. It's more so just to know the placement and heights of different buildings. This way we can much better see what way the city is going to be laid out. And might I say, even though it's only dirt, this does look pretty cool. So our home is over this way, and this is the angle we're flying in from. Dude, look at that. Oh, that's so sick. And luckily for me, I can reuse some of the spare blocks that we had from doing all of our terrain, because I am terrible at planning things and I brought way too much. I think the terracotta, mud blocks and granite are going to be the main blocks we're going to use here, just because if I made them out of stone, it would blend in way too much. Trust me, it just wouldn't look good. I also want to take some inspiration from our ocean island that we built in the last video, because that there is no way that's what the baby villagers look like now. His head is so big. Oh, so I feel bad. I'm sorry. Anyway. Yeah, so the houses that we built in the last video have this tropical vibe already. And you know, oceans are pretty tropical, right? I mean, I feel like we can all agree that. So I think I'm definitely going to steal So back over to the mesa biome we go to grab some more terracotta. I'm also going to steal a bunch of this red sand while no one's looking. Afterwards, I'm going to do a quadruple backflip over to the acacia biome and grab around 100 billion acacia logs, but not before we get some of these. But that also means we need some of these, and oh, some of those as well. Wait, hold on, I definitely need some of these. Sure, where would I be going without some of this? I have no idea what I'm looking at, by the way. I'm doing a voiceover right now. I have no idea what's happening. Oh no, I can't go without some of these. Dude, what am I doing? Anyway, last up on the list of blocks for our city is some of these brown mushroom blocks, which luckily for me, I have a silk touch axe. So I can just I think I did it a little bit too hard. I need to go to a different dark oak forest. There we go, that should be enough. Lastly, we need to come down here into this old trial chamber and absolutely demolish it. I can then spend an uncomfortable amount of time looking at my bees to get some honeycomb, and then age down and wax up our copper blocks. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be, in theory, all of the blocks for our city. To set the scene for our city building, I decided to do a little test run on the block palette, just to see how everything fits together and if I'm even going to like how this looks. But let me be clear. So here is our example of what the majority of the city is going to look like. I want this to feel like it is just in the middle of a jungle. It doesn't really look like it right now, but when there's trees back in the area, trust me, it'll look amazing. So I'm going to go straight on to building some more of our structures. With the buildings themselves, I tried to follow the same concept as the mountains, where the inhabitants built these massive towers high above the canopy. I've been watching a bunch of Death Note recently, so I binge watched some episodes and locked in on building. That's one side of our little city. Now we just need to do the other side. I'm not going to bore you with all the details for this side. It's practically the same thing, just stacking different towers on top of each other until we have a little civilization, but with the addition of 2 smaller houses inspired by our nether ocean. And I'm really trying to take the time to connect all the builds together, like here with these little bridges, instead of it being just one massive thing of buildings in the middle of nowhere, you know? And to connect our 2 different cities over towards where our temple is going to be, I want to build sort of a hanging rope bridge sort of thing. But this is a pretty large gap, so to join them together, I'm going to first build ourselves up another tower here in the middle, which looks something like this, and then using a bunch of spruce planks and spruce slabs, we can build up our little rope bridge. And I've done the same thing over here and over here. I also added some fences and leaf blocks to make them look a little bit more jungly, I guess. Alright, quick pop quiz. What are jungles most known for? Is it having a bunch of trees, spawning ocelots, or where you get cocoa beans? That's right. Hang on, that's actually all true, but the point I was making was number 1. We have no trees. But, dear viewer, don't worry, because I have a bunch of jungle saplings from when we tore all these trees down. So it's time to put them back. Let's just start placing these down and try and fill this entire area back in with trees. And that is all of our trees, like, barely done. I have around this many placed in, but I am now fully out of saplings. So I'm going to need to grab myself up a fortune hoe and fly out to another jungle. I just need to go around breaking a bunch of leaves to try and get as many saplings as possible. This looks awesome. Oh, it actually properly looks like a dense jungle now. Oh, this is so cool. Our beacons are getting lost in the jungle. There is one more detail to the landscape that I want to add over here. I recently saw this video where someone used redstone to make a waterfall look like it was actually flowing, and I want to do my own one right here. And I think we'll kick off the blocks we're going to need with a cool, calm, and collected 157 observers. So while nobody is looking, I'm just gonna take some of this. I feel like a full inventory of cobblestone should probably be enough. If not, how have you done that? Sir, do you need help? Are you okay? He looks like he's having a great time. We should be able to make up a bunch of observers. I also need to make up a load of pistons as well. And now, do I have any slimy balls anywhere? There we go. Let's craft these up. And there we go. This right here should be everything that we're going to need to build up ourselves a working waterfall. I think we can start by just getting rid of this entire wall right here to give us a little bit of space. I'm going to start this off by building up the quote-unquote water at the back of the waterfall. I know you might think that it's weird that I'm not using actual water here, but trust me, it'll make sense. It'll look cool when it's done, okay? And there we go. That is our quote-unquote water in place. So let's start making up the actual contraption that's going to make this whole thing work by first lining out all of our pistons. And the way this whole thing works is essentially just a massive observer loop. And if I get a lever out and I just flick this a couple of times, you can see that all of the pistons go in this sort of like sequence. This is really one of those trust the process sort of things. So that's one side. Let's quickly just go and replicate this entire thing over on this side. But now's the part where we really sell this effect. So I'm gonna start placing different colors of stained glass like so, and then do the exact same thing over on this side. And then we need to go around and place another layer of glass in front of it to also act like our water, I guess. And there we go. What do we think of that? I do also want to do the bottom part here, so I'm going to quickly go around and whip this bad boy up. And then if we come down into here and activate our waterfalls one by one, we should have a really cool water effect. Yes. Oh, dude, that looks awesome. Oh, I'm so happy that turned out well. But having a waterfall here is a little bit odd without a river. So I'm going to spend some time just chilling out and sit here and cook up a bit of a river. I'm really liking how this all turned out, except for that guy over there. We have the river that flows right down through this little canyon place here, which then flows down into this little body of water right here. I think this looks great. This is it from above. What do we think? I also had a little bit of a brainwave, okay? So you know the way in every video I'm always getting a bunch of spruce wood? What if, stay with me now, we built up an automatic tree farm in one of these mountains right here? And while this this does look incredibly good, I would like it to be useful. So, jungle, big trees, lots of trees, tree farm, you get the gist, you know what I'm going to start by getting the most annoying blocks to collect first, like 2 stacks of honey blocks, but I'm going to be very clever about it and steal all of our bees and move them into the nether, because then they can work indefinitely and don't need a break. Oh no. Oh dude, no, the bees are getting out. Stop. Dude, get in the thing. Okay, so all the bees are doing their thing, buzzing away. We're going to move on. And next up is a slime farm, because we need 7 stacks of slime blocks, and I am not getting that by hand. So I'm going to grab a couple blocks together, along with a bunch of carrot pumpkins. And this is the first time I've ever made oozing potions. I think I'm going to repurpose some dead space we have in the iron farm and whip together a slimy farm. And to test this bad boy out, we need to grab ourselves a couple more snow blocks. And then in theory, if we come down here, we can just start... There we go. Okay, so our snowmen are getting placed in. We press this button and this lever. And this lever, oh god, no, I think it broke. Okay, I think I have found the issue. We need a piece of redstone right here. There we go. Now it's going back and forth. All right, so let's pause that. Place some of these bad boys down. Now if I press this and press this, oh my god, it's working. We have slimes. Oops. Dude, this is so sick. Using this farm, we should be able to get all the slime blocks we're going to need really quickly. With the slime out of the way, everything else for the farm was really easy to collect. While I was out getting those blocks, the bees have gotten us all of the honey that we're going to need. And you know what they say, you have to leave the worst for last, because we now have over 1,000 obsidian to collect. So let's get to mining. Yeah, this is going to take way too long. So let's chuck one of these bad boys down and give myself haste 2. And I just need to sit here and mine all of this up. Even with haste 2, that still took forever. But it doesn't matter because we're done. This is by far the most complicated thing that I've ever had to make. I'll come out and say it. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. But with the help of Lightmatica, getting this built up wasn't so bad. I'm going to fill up this chest with some bone meal. And are you guys ready for the grand test? Let's see if this works. Okay. No. I think it broke. I spent so long on this. What broke? Oh, dude, everything is just like thrown off. How do I even fix this? I have been troubleshooting this thing for like an hour now, and I genuinely have no idea what is wrong with it. But I found this farm instead, which actually might turn out to be better than the one we have right now. But to build it, we need to completely tear down everything we've just built. Oh boy, okay. I don't know if I'm just stupid and I built this completely wrong, but like I've like double checked, triple checked, 5 times checked, and I just can't figure it out. I have no idea what's wrong with it. And oh wait, oh no, dude, I have to break all the obsidian again. And it's now like we never even started. That was genuinely so painful to get all this again. But luckily for me, for the new tree farm, we can actually reuse a good amount of these blocks, with exception to a couple of acacia logs, some iron chains, cobwebs. I don't know why these are going to be used, but I mean, listen, a bunch of cobwebs, I guess, some scaffolding, and some more droppers. And you are absolutely not ready for this sick transition. I'm going to have all of this built in 3, 2, 1. Boom! This looks awesome, and it took a very long time to build. It is currently 8 o'clock in the morning and I haven't slept yet. I've been up all night because I had to destroy the other one and then rebuild this one. But let me give you a tour. Okay, so we get to select, yeah, that's right, we get to select which log type we want to use. So right now I have it on spruce. I got some spruce saplings here, so let's turn on our farm. And if I go in here and just hold this down, look at this. Oh, it's so cool. I can just sit here all day long, and then when I'm done I can waltz on out here, and there we go. We got some spruce logs together. We finally have a tree farm. Oh, it's been a long time coming. The next thing I want to work on is a complete transformation of a jungle temple, and I've spent the last hour or so gathering a bunch of blocks for this, so I feel like you've seen enough block collecting for today. So let's get straight into building. The first thing I want to focus on is building ourselves up a staircase, because you know, we kind of need one to get into the temple. And to make our lives a lot easier, I'm going to start flattening this entire space here out, just so we have an easier space to work off of. And then I set up a couple of walls to box off the entire platform, along with these towers to go with them. On top of our 2 towers here, I think it'd be really cool if we had some sort of like recognizable centerpiece thing. So I had the idea to build up some skeleton skulls, which came out looking awesome. Look at these two. You know, I usually don't do like pixel art or stuff like that, but come on, that is a skeleton skull. It looks awesome. Anyway, so with our first platform built up, I want to start building the actual structure itself. So to kick this off, I started off by building up these 4 pillars and then connecting them together with a little bit of an archway. I'm going to build ourselves up a back wall here, and for the very top of our temple, I want to do like an Aztec sort of style with the stairs going up and kind of like a layered platform on top. And on top of that platform, I built up some more pillars and 1 more of these awesome looking skeleton skulls. And finally, on this last tower over here, I used different colors of stained glass to turn this into a burning torch. And with that, we have a fully completed jungle temple transformation. This whole place just looks absolutely incredible. And the real reason that I did all of this, when I'm flying over to my cyberpunk city, I want something to look at as I fly by. That's pretty much it. See you in the next video. Bye.